91.5 WBIM presents the Saturday Night Soundtrack. Whoever you're with, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just turn us up. Coming to you live from the campus of Bridgewater State University. We are your destination for commercial-free classic rock to power your nights. Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Beatles, Eric Clapton, Pink Floyd, The Who, U2, AC/DC, Tom Petty, Allman Brothers, Ozzy, Neil Young, and hundreds more. Take us along wherever you go with the Livestream.com app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. So go get some food in the belly and gas in the tank as BSU's Alumni Saturday rocks on. The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer begins now on Bridgewater's own 91.5 WBIM.
House 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack's underway for another week. Welcome to it. Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer. And
yeah, nobody's going to cut you off tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And nobody's going to cut you off. No, nobody will cut you off.
Unfortunately, Jared Barbetta is not going to be with us this evening because it's his time of the month, so to speak. He's not going to even call us because he's an ungrateful bastard who doesn't like to call his own program, even when he gets an opportunity to do so because he doesn't happen to be here. It would be nice if we get a little bit of encouragement from him when he's away on his lodge night saying, hey, great job, guys. Listen to the show. Great going. Thanks. It's great. Nothing. We don't. Nothing.
Do you think they have, real strict cell phone rules, though?
I don't know, but, the thing is, and the other thing that I often wonder about this, because I don't get any information from him.
Exactly.
He doesn't tell me a friggin' thing. How late do the lodge nights go? Are they going till 11 o'clock, or does he get out of there at 9:30 or so, and then wouldn't be worth his effort, obviously, to come here?
But wouldn't this be on the way back? Because he's in...
Well, he's in Duxbury.
Duxbury.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think it would be. It wouldn't be. But not the point. Point is, you can shoot us a little bit of something, letting us know that everything's going okay, but apparently doesn't want to do that.
Yep.
But that's fine. We got Classic Rock going until 11 o'clock. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. Get anything Classic Rock on that you want. Run through the list of places that you can connect with us. You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter, @SN Soundtrack. You can also search for us on YouTube. All you got to do is search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. You filter for channels. All of our old broadcasts are up there, all the highlights and everything else. So you can listen to us anytime you want. Last but certainly not least is Livestream.com, which in addition to being a website, of course, is a free app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. You can check us out there, and a lot of times if you follow us on, again, another reason to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, we will post the direct link on Livestream to the radio station here itself. If you go to livestream.com, you got to go and search for WBIM, of course.
But it's a bit more complicated now, I've noticed.
It is, but that's why we try to take it's another benefit of following us because we take that effort out for you. All we do is give you a direct link to the program, to the website and the WBIM in specific, and tell you here, just click on this. Mm-hmm. We treat you like you're stupid.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want that?
We should.
Hey, speaking of alienating people and calling people stupid, an unprecedented thing has happened. I'm not used to this. Not only did we gain 2 followers on Twitter, but we actually managed to keep them.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, when I say we gained 2 followers, they're useless. But here I go again. But you know what I mean.
Bye-bye.
It's not Joe Schmo from Bridgewater who's following us. If that was the case, that would be good. I want regular people to follow us. This is like we got followed by some 80s site that has 20,000 followers and is following 22,000 idiots. And then there's another one that just got picked up within the past week or so. And they do some sort of electronic music. You know that we're getting picked up because we have soundtrack in the title. And that's basically what it is.
Yeah. No, I don't do Twitter. Never have.
Sure. I'll be honest with you, it's not that great.
No, but the recent changes, have they made any big differences?
I haven't noticed any recent changes at all.
Oh, they did something, I don't know, last week where they moved everything around or did something.
Now, did they do it for? Here's an important consideration. Did they do it for the actual website, or did they do it for the mobile app?
Oh.
Because I never go to Twitter on the computer. Ever.
Not a clue.
I do it. I basically check this. I check the Saturday Night Soundtrack Twitter from my phone. That's all I do. I don't even look at my own personal Twitter. I never go to Twitter on the computer.
Yeah.
No idea where any of that is.
Nope, not a clue.
I am much more a fan of Facebook, so I'd rather people follow us on Facebook. But you know what? If Twitter's your deal, we're connected there too. So at SN Soundtrack, you can check us out anywhere. Basically, we're available any way you want. Just get at us is pretty much the point.
Yes.
508-531-1303. Going to get into another big block of classic rock so that we can eat our food. We actually have food for the first time to start off the program. That usually doesn't happen either. So thank you to Campus Pizza. We're going to dig into this and get going with some classic rock. We got a whole bunch of double shots and threefers to take care of tonight, and we're going to play a batch of them now.
The best reason to listen to WBIM on Saturday nights instead of your iPod. Size matters. The largest library of classic rock in Bridgewater is on this Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer. 91.5 WBIM.
It's Russia 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show, Guns N' Roses was before that, and then we had a couple of back-to-back double shots. Heard from Aerosmith and Van Halen in that block, too. Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer, and Mikey D.
Hello, folks.
Hello there.
Are you still out there listening to us?
I don't even know if they were to begin with, but they should be now.
Well, they better pick up those phones and start doing something with the dial.
They're not going to do anything with the dial.
You don't think so? Well,
They don't even know what the dial
I'll
is.
start dialing their faces with my fingers.
Nobody even knows what a dial is anymore.
No kidding.
I don't understand what that is. Hey, so I'll ask Mikey D about this. I probably didn't see it, but Steve, you and I saw it. Did we? What's the deal here? Did we back the wrong horse here, or what? As far as getting all behind Lady Gaga and her.
Yeah, we did.
Getting
We
our
did.
hopes all up, and
What's up with Lady Gaga?
so she did this tribute to David Bowie at the Grammys last week. What was it, Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
It's not the okay. My first impression is this: I didn't necessarily have a problem with her vocal performance.
No, me neither.
I had a problem with the fact that, and she's obviously doing it like anybody else who would do a tribute to somebody that they don't necessarily sound like they normally would because they're trying to sound like the person that they're tributing, clearly. And I didn't have a problem with how she did that, and that can be the trickiest part.
Yes.
Is really trying to nail the sound, the essence of what a person actually does. My problem was with this. We just heard about 30 seconds of Space Oddity, and now we're hearing changes, and I believe in another 7 seconds we're going to start hearing a different song. She needed to just pick one song.
9 songs in 6 minutes.
Right, and or if she was going to do
9.
maybe, even if she wanted to do 2 songs, she had a 6-minute block. You could do 2.
She could have done one. I wanted to hear her do Life on Mars.
Well, what do you call
Right.
it? Call it sort of a medley then, right?
It was a medley, but it was too rushed a medley. I mean, she just tried to cram too much into a short, you know what I mean? Like, here's Spiders from Mars. And
Yep.
She was just trying to cram way too much into a short period of time, and it didn't work.
And you know she was working on this for months.
Was that her plan, or was it the powers that be?
Who knows? I mean,
No, it was her.
the powers that be are the ones that gave her the 6-minute allotment.
They gave her the allotment and let her do with it what she wanted. It was going to be a Lifetime Achievement Award slot originally. So she'd been working on this for like 6 months, and
Right.
that's what she came up with.
And that's the problem, is that there's so much effort obviously had to go into planning it and doing the choreography and doing the costumes and everything. And also with the costume, can I just point out the fact that I didn't like her face? And I don't normally have a
You're not the only one.
I don't actually normally have a problem with Lady Gaga's face, but something about the way she was doing the face, because she was trying to do like the David Bowie face, and for some reason she was looking to me like she was reminding me of Courtney Love at certain points.
She did, actually. Yes, you're right.
And unless she's in a Milos Forman movie, I don't want to see Courtney Love or know anything about her. I want nothing to do with her.
No.
And just that was just a bad correlation as well.
Yeah.
Hey, we got somebody on the air who might want to talk about Lady Gaga. BIM. Hello? No, nobody's there. You there?
Hello? Anybody there?
That's about all you get.
All right.
Utter a few adjectives if you are.
One of our
anyway-
usual callers.
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest deal, was the fact that she just tried to cram way too much into a short period of time.
Yeah,
6 minutes is not it's not appropriate for 9 songs, especially if you're going to try to do some sort of a tribute to somebody. I'd like to point out, by the way, and once again, this is an example of backing the wrong horse, because I remember going into the Grammys, I said, "Gee, wouldn't it be great if we saw more tribute to David Bowie as opposed to Glenn Frey, to sort of parallel what, as an inverse of what we've been hearing on the radio?" And then the Eagles came up with this, which was a very tasteful and pleasant. You got Jackson Browne doing the vocals, taking over for his old friend Glenn Frey there. Jackson Browne co-wrote this song, as a matter of fact, and was around the Eagles all the time when they were recording their albums and everything. They played one song. They had Glenn Frey up on the screen behind them while they were doing it. And it was just they just played it all the way through. They played it in the same style that the song was played and written originally by Glenn Frey, and it was great.
Actually, I thought the Natalie Cole tribute was the best one.
That was a good one as well, yeah.
So this was stuff all on the Super Bowl.
No, this was Grammys.
Well, excuse me. What am I saying Super Bowl for? That's what I meant to say.
No.
I'm lost. Okay. No comments, Hicks. The wisecracks.
There's no need, you know what I mean? There's no need. It's out there. It's just out there. But, I don't know. It was a complete flip around of what I thought it was going to be. I expected so much out of the Bowie tribute that we didn't get. And then I really didn't expect much out of the Eagles tribute, or I expected it to be overblown, whatever there was going to be. And then they did it like this, and, this was just 100 times better.
Yes.
And I don't know. Apparently, I'm just not good at predicting what people are going to do on award shows.
I went the same way, though.
And how the tribute's going to go, because I thought that tribute was going to go fantastic, and, but the Bowie one went horrible. So, 508-531-1303. If you want to give it a try and give us a call again, if you just called through and couldn't get through, or whatever the case was, but other than that, I don't know what to do for you.
Before I came up, did that $3.50 per hour garbologist from Rockland call yet? Old Steve the Sleeve?
No, nobody has called.
He hasn't called yet, huh?
Nobody has called.
Jeez. Well, the night's still young.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for pointing out that we have no callers, but the night is still young. So 508-531-1303 once again is a number in case you want to get in touch with us and have us give you some crap. That's fine.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that too. Crap.
We do that all day, all day long. So anyway, anything else new going on with you, Mike? Anything going on around the
same old
campus?
Routine at the campus center, and I got to run across the street, do a little work over there, then back here again, and non-stop.
What do you do? You've never actually mentioned this.
The building's closed after a certain hour. Then I got to go downstairs, maintain some bathrooms and stuff. There's nobody stationed over there until sometime tomorrow. So
which building?
Tillinghast Hall.
Oh, okay. That was going to be my question.
We have a call again.
BIM.
Yes, this is Steve the Slave.
Oh, geez, here he is.
What's going on, Steve?
I have something to add.
Okay.
One of Mikey D's nicknames when he was a trash man years ago was Wheels.
Wheels.
So, do you want us to wait like 3 weeks to answer this?
No, I really don't. I want to know right.
I want to be tortured.
I want instant gratification on this deal.
Want me to tell it, Steve?
I don't even know it. I forgot I forgot this one also, Mike.
But the thing is,
they don't want to wait 3 weeks this time.
Well, we don't have to wait 3 weeks. But the thing is, who's not here tonight to hear the story?
Well, that's fine. We can tell him about it.
That is true. Jared's not here, but I'm pretty sure we could probably encapsulate it for him.
Wouldn't you want him here live, like maybe next week to tell?
No. I think we can probably sort of effectively retell the story to him without an issue. But
can we have a 1 week grace period on this one? Or?
You want to hear it now, don't you?
Yes. I kind of want to hear it now.
All right. So it's like this. For waste management that I was working for back in the day, many years ago. Because I was always constantly moving, motivating, and just stuff like that. The legs never stop. By the time I could almost plumb tuck it out, couldn't move, but that's beside the point. So somebody said, hey, Wheels, and that was it, stuck, just the people at work. Wheels to Silver for maybe 3.5 years, and that was it.
Steve, you and I have different definitions of the word fascinating.
Yes.
We will we'll discuss that off the air.
Sleeve, how you doing today, brother? Didn't you have to work, finish out the week because it was a holiday?
Yes.
All right. What are you doing now, sucking up a few cold ones or what?
Yeah, cold ones and listening to BIM.
Nice.
Oh, wow. What a combination.
I can't think of a. You know what? You got good taste, man. I can't think of a better way to spend a Saturday night as far as I'm concerned.
And I was just going to say, Rob, Steve, and it's Saturday night too.
Well, yeah.
BIM, a couple of cold brewskis, and Saturday evening.
The only thing that would make
I'm
it
driving around in my car getting a DUI or anything.
Only
good. Good.
Yeah, stay home, Steve.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home for the love of Christ.
Hey, what a triplet that is.
Hey, what can we play for you to make the to sort of make the trifecta for you?
Do you want me to? Are you playing doubles now?
Well, we played some doubles, and we can get some other. We got some other doubles that we're going to play during the night, and we can get anything else on you want as far as doubles are concerned.
There's an old cool song from Black Sabbath. I think it's an instrumental called Supernaut.
Yeah, we've played that before. We can get that on.
Oh, you guys know everything.
That's a good one.
Little Tony Iommi from the past.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that on for you,
Steve. Sounds like a great pick. Appreciate that one, brother.
You know, the guys on the job at Waste Management that didn't like Mike, couple of idiots said he was wheels in reverse, but
What kind of clown would not like Mikey D? I don't understand.
Well, that's why I said a couple of idiots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they sound like morons.
All right, Stevie. Really appreciate you calling again. We'll get hooked up soon. All right, brother?
Okay.
All right. Have a good night. Keep on listening.
Oh, I will. Okay.
Thanks, Steve. Anything else you want, 508-531-1303. So you can be like Steve. You can be like Steve the Sleeve.
Yep.
Call
us.
Make a request. That's what we're all about.
Who the hell doesn't want that? So.
All right. Are we back to music, Mr. Rob?
We're going to get back into it, yes. Every once in a while, I think Mike's going to contribute something, and then just dead silence ensues.
Yeah.
I know.
It's unnerving and sometimes concerning. Like now, for example.
Exactly.
Dead air.
All he does, can I point this out for a second quick? All he does from when he comes in here is he shoots his mouth off. When I finally need him to say a few friggin' words, he just clams up.
I'm quiet as a church mouse.
What's the deal with
when
that?
needed.
How does that work? I don't even understand how that
happens. Save it for
happens.
the next time.
No, don't save it for the next time when I clearly
You
need
want to hear it now.
Well, kind of, yeah.
You don't want it 3 weeks later like the story of Steve the Sleeve.
No, nobody wants it to be 3 weeks later. Please don't ever let that happen again. So,
on my honor.
508-531-1303. Another block of classic rock coming up. We'll get Steve's song on in there too. Saturday Night Soundtrack, BIM.
Saturday nights with Rob Hicks. He's like Wolfman Jack. Without the beard, money, or timeless popularity.
Coincidence? I think not.
Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
That's Levon Helm and the band. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack. The late, great Levon Helm, I should say. That man was amazing. Double shot of the Doors before that. Black Sabbath in that block as well for Steve the Sleeve. And David Bowie kicked us off. Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer, it's 8:05. And how do you like the notice that I give you? Hey, Steve, you want to go up in like 7 seconds?
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking, though, that on these nights that Jared isn't here, I get so much more exercise.
That's true. Because you guys usually sit over in that room over there.
Exactly.
I'm in here doing what I'm doing. But, I mean, it would be pretty awkward and antisocial if you just sat in the other room all night.
Yeah, which is why I'm probably going to stay in here from now on.
Nobody else in there. But then I just realized that track was ending and just figured I'd just send you in there. And it's just how it goes here.
It's all good.
Luckily,
keep me awake.
Luckily, here on SNS, we're very flexible and we're able to, we're just able to roll with the punches.
Yes.
Whatever happens. So 508
punch with the rolls.
508-531-1303. Give us a call. You can once again like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack, and we're a professional outfit too.
Yes, we are.
You can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack and check us out on YouTube. Search for Saturday Night Soundtrack, filter for channels. We're the first thing that comes up. All our old broadcasts are there. And livestream.com. That's where you can listen to us live if our 184-watt signal doesn't do it for you. It's a free app with the iTunes and Google Play stores. It's a website, too, of course. Again, livestream.com. Search for WBIM, and there we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear... It's been all over the place on social media and a few different articles that I've read. Did you hear Dave Grohl's story about his encounter with David Bowie?
Yes, I did.
Or not his encounter, I should say, because we'd worked with him before, and he had done his 50th birthday party, as a matter of fact. And the story came up that Dave Grohl was doing an interview for Playboy, as a matter of fact, and he was just doing a video interview, and they sat down to talk, and I think they went to the Rainbow bar and grill, and they were sitting there talking, and Dave Grohl brought up this this awkward email exchange that apparently happened with David Bowie a couple of years ago.
Did I ever tell you about my Bowie email exchange?
No, tell me about that Bowie email exchange.
We played at his 50th birthday party at Madison Square Garden, and that was the last time I saw him. So that was in 1997. About 2 years ago, I got approached by this movie to do a song for the movie. So I thought, well, maybe I'll have someone else sing. I'll do the music and then have another vocalist.
And jump in here real quick. I wonder what movie it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tried to look it up, and I actually couldn't find it. I was trying to figure out, like, I went on Wikipedia, tried to see if I could find a movie that Dave Grohl had done, soundtrack work for around that time. You're talking, 2012, 2013, probably, based on how he's telling the story. I didn't see anything, so I couldn't really figure out what it was. I was curious.
Well, maybe I'll ask and see if David would want to do it.
God, that's reaching high, man.
I know. So the next day I get an email, and it says, David, I watched the movie, and I got to be honest, it's not my thing. He said, I'm not made for these times. So thanks, but I think I'm going to sit this one out. And I thought, man, what a bummer. So I immediately email back and say, no worries, I totally understand. I hope you're well, and I'll see you around. And I hit send, and within like a minute and a half, I get an email back from him. And it says, all right, well, that's settled in. Now, off. And I'm like, whoa. Is he kidding? Like, I couldn't tell.
Like, he didn't even know if he was joking, and it was never really settled whether or not he was. But I love how all these people are now coming up with these stories. It's good, and it's an insight into his character that he just wasn't willing to throw his name on just anything.
No. What was the other thing he turned down?
Well, he turned down the stories that have been coming out. Is the first one that I heard was the one where Coldplay.
That's right.
Had reached out to him, and
it's not really a very good song.
Yeah,
is it?
It's not really very good, is it? And they were like, well, okay. And I like the fact that they couldn't even argue with that.
Exactly.
And they just sort of let it go.
Bowie says it's not very good. You're not going to argue.
Red Hot Chili Peppers was another act that apparently had tried to get him to collaborate with them a while back, and he said no thanks. Or I don't know if it was those words, but
the only guys he ever went with was Nine Inch Nails. When you think about it,
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, he did several, on-stage appearances with other things, but nothing on record.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah, and it just goes to show what a discerning artist he was. And but the thing is, it's like he could get away with saying so many things.
Oh, yeah.
That from anybody else, you'd be like, wow. What a Richard. And from him, it was like, he's funny, and he's frank and honest, and he says what he thinks, and good for him, and I have respect for him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, he had that, it worked for him, even when, he's stealing other people's guitarists and everything, and it just worked out. We called him up. We wanted to have him on this program, and he said, well, the show's not very good, is it? And we said, well,
so F you.
Yeah, we said, well, there's nothing I can't really argue with that. And, we asked him to be on a Mikey D skit, and he was like, I'm not going to be on there with that bloke. And we were like, well, I don't really blame you. And nobody can dispute that conversation happened. So for all anybody knows, it did.
It did. Exactly.
And speaking of people dissing people, did you hear about, did you hear Joe Perry's comment? He released a statement within this past week talking about Steven Tyler's new song that we played on here a couple of weeks ago. We didn't play the song, but we played a clip of the song. Yeah. Let's be clear about that. Exactly. And it's called Red, White, and You. If any of you out there have missed it, we ain't going to play it again. So go out there, go on iTunes or do some Google searches or Yahoo or something. YouTube. It's up there. It's all over the place. I mean, the thing's leaked everywhere. You can listen to it for free. It's Steven Tyler's. It's his first single off his new country album called Red, White, and You. And I guess Joe Perry's main comment on it was he basically said, if it was anybody else but Steven Tyler, I would have heard that and said, okay, next. Moving on. And everybody I know, everybody has been or everybody that I've read critiques on and everything, they've all been saying about how it basically sounds like he's channeling Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it definitely is.
The friendship between him and Taylor Swift is kind of coming through and sort of making itself heard. And it's sort of like, well, you might want to consider doing something else. This really isn't what you. But I mean, if it's what he wants to do, I mean, he already looks like an elderly grandma anyway.
Yeah, so he should be singing those sorts of songs.
By this point, you know what I mean. By this point, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. And he's a billionaire or whatever he is, and we're not. So. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
I'm going to find out what he's worth.
Google his net worth.
Yeah,
please.
I just want to see what his net worth is.
How easy is that to do, by the way? Can you just Google a celebrity's net worth and it comes up pretty easy?
You just put in Steven Tyler net worth.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's that easy?
That's simple, yep.
You put in, maybe you should put in our net worth. I don't want to know.
No.
I don't think it would come up, and I don't want to know even if it did.
Net worth, there we go.
So how much is this dude making, though?
Crap. He's worth $130 million.
Well, at least it wasn't $1 billion like I originally thought, but that's still a crap load of money.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
65 years old, estimated net worth $130 million.
He's only 65.
Yep.
Why did I think he would? He just seems so much older.
Because he looks so much older.
That must be what it is.
But all these young girls he has relationships with, that's... He's having fun with his assistant, Amy Preston, who is believed to be in her 20s.
Believed to be. That's great.
Oh, my.
Are these attractive women or no?
I don't know about that.
I didn't know if they were. I didn't know what you were looking at, if they had pictures or anything like that.
Well, I'm going to see if I can pull.
I mean, if Jared was here, he'd be pestering you for the picture, so I just figured I'd, chime in.
Oh, she's fairly attractive.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, anything next to him's going to look pretty attractive.
That's the thing too, is you got to try to put that into perspective. Like,
yeah,
he's Steven Tyler, and he looks how he looks.
Actually, no, she's not bad. A source has revealed, it's Mail Online, it's from England, that Steven Tyler's having fun with his personal assistant, Amy Preston. I bet he is.
Having fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Oh,
508-531-1303. Give us a call. We're going to get into another block of classic rock. We got a double shot of some Southern Fried Rock next.
So, you just spent hours putting together the perfect classic rock playlist?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's so cute. This Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
That's War on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS Radio Show, wrapping up a block of classic rock. Red Hot Chili Peppers in there as well. Neil Young, double shot of Leonard Skinner, Rob Hicks, Steve Irmer. It's 8:34.
Yeah, and you know what always amazes me? That's the same voice that sang House of the Rising Sun.
I know. That's the part that I can never get over. The Eric, I mean, there's a lot of Eric Burden that I could, when you say you could take or leave somebody, there's a whole lot of Eric Burden that I could leave.
Oh, yeah.
But the stuff that I like of his, holy God, it's just like the classics that don't. House of the Rising Sun is one of I would rank it up there as actually one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah,
I think that song's amazing. I mean, that original version's amazing. Obviously, a bunch of people have done covers of it. Some of them are decent, some of them not so much. But you can't beat the original.
Yep.
The original was a classic. I love that song. Lowrider's great. I also love that Eric Burden also did with War off the same album that Lowrider was on. As a matter of fact, they also did Why Can't We Be Friends, which
That's
sounds
completely
different than either of the two songs we just mentioned. So there you go, Eric Burden. Just a master of versatility, and well, he's probably going to die now.
Yeah, probably.
Because
especially when you talk about him enough.
Not only have we been just talking him up here for the last minute or two on the air, but we were also kind of looking up his age and stuff off the air, and Steve kept realizing how old he was and saying things like, "Holy crap!" He's like what did you say? 74?
74.
Oh no!
He went past the 69 mark, so he's doing okay there.
It's not good for him.
We need a new club now. We've got the 27 club. We're going to have the 69 club now. You know?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
508-531-1303. If you want to join the maturity of this program, we welcome you to do so. Because we are nothing but mature, classy adults here on the program. And again, like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack, and you can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. And speaking of people who are going to die and so forth, Steve.
There you go.
So last weekend, Steve and I watched I watched it a day or two later, but it doesn't matter.
I don't watch it until Monday.
I did the same exact thing. I watched it on Monday.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we both have the same opinion, but just give us your overall impressions, what you thought of the Walking Dead mid-season premiere.
Holy crap.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, actually, I must admit, that's one of the few shows that I can watch for what season we're in now? 6, 7?
This is the sixth.
Sixth. And they can still astound and amaze me. It's incredible.
And I've talked about this on the air before, and I'll say it again, is the fact that I'll go through long stretches where I'm like, why am I even still watching this program? And then, an episode or two will come about, and I'm like, holy crap, that's why I'm still watching this program.
Exactly.
And
that was one of them.
This past one was just it. Spoilers ahead, if anybody out there is listening, and I don't think you are. But if you are, spoilers ahead. That whole scene when they were walking through, they picked up right where they left off.
Yep.
When they were walking through well, before that, by the way, Daryl and the crew meeting that motorcycle gang on the street.
That was incredible.
Daryl just blowing them away with a.
I didn't expect that.
That was just amazing. And after that, they flash back to Alexandria, of course, where Rick and the gang were right where they left off back in November, wearing a whole bunch of cloaks with smeared guts all over them, which is a trick from the first season that they brought back, and trying to make their way out through the hordes of zombies. And eventually, and I love the fact that I've heard people say this I've seen people say this on Facebook and Twitter and everything else, and people basically being like, when you think about it, it's really all Carl's fault that kid got killed. And
thank you.
In a way, yes, but in another way, that's awesome.
Exactly.
And when we were watching it, it was just the way they did the slow motion and sort of almost like the surrealism. I told you off the air. My wife's initial reaction was she was like, "Is this a dream sequence?"
Yes.
Because it's the kind of thing that they do on they'll do that on soap operas, and you think something's actually happening. Or they used to do it on shows like 6 Feet Under and stuff like that, which was that was obviously much lighter when they would do it then. But it was sort of like this fantasy sequence would go off, and you weren't really sure that it was actually happening, and then all of a sudden you'd realize it was just a fantasy or a dream or whatever. In this case, nope, it was not. And they finally got to a key point in the that had been in the graphic novels already. Involving Carl, and that's already happened. That was awesome.
Whose illegitimate son is he supposed to be? I forget Jared's take on this.
Freaking Daryl's.
Yes, right.
Which makes I'm not even going to go into it again. It makes zero sense. There was no way that could ever be the case.
No.
And mind you, Jared comes up with this theory after having not watched the program for like 3 seasons. He hasn't seen the show in like forever, and he's like, you know what I think is going on? Daryl is and I feel like a part of him's joking, but then I feel like a part of him actually believes this.
Oh yeah,
and then I'm like, no, sir, there is no way that's absolutely possible.
Nope.
So I'm wondering how they're going to. So here's my question, right? Now that they've gone through all this, how do you think it's going to go this week or tomorrow night? Do you think are we in for a couple of boring episodes?
I don't know,
because the mid-season premiere was so strong.
Well, they're going to drag out the Carl in the bed thing, like
right.
They did at the barn that time.
They did, yeah. That went on for 3 or 4 episodes, I think.
Exactly. So I think that's going to drag on a little bit. But I'm just wondering how they're going to keep the link going to the new biker gang.
Right. Because they got
the nasty guy is the leader of that band.
Yep, that whole thing's coming back. Negan is that guy's name. He's going to be coming back. I'm psyched by the fact that he's going to be played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I've loved him ever since. I think the first thing, and I mean it's not even really going back all that far, but I think the first thing I ever saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan in was The Watchmen, where he played the comedian.
That's right, yes.
I've seen him in various other things since then. And at the time I saw Watchmen, I was like, oh, hey, I didn't know Javier Bardem was in this. Oh, no, he's not. It's that other guy that looks like him.
Yeah.
And then eventually I learned to, make the distinguishing characteristics between the two, but it took me a while to figure out which one was which. But either way, I mean, I've always liked the stuff that he's done, and I've seen him in bit parts here and there, and always thought he was great. And it'll be interesting to see what he does with this character. Which I don't actually know, because I don't really. Everything I know about the graphic novels is stuff that I glean from people who have actually watched them, read them rather.
Me too.
I've never read any of them, so I don't know any of this. Everything that I know is coming from people who have told me about what happened. So I don't know what the Negan character is actually like.
No, I don't. I mean, everything I know is just from what I read on Facebook. And
right.
They give the little synopsis of what the next season's going to be about, etc., and what they're bringing in from the graphic novel. So, I like I said, I didn't read them myself.
Right. The one thing I am curious to know, because they have gotten very, very backtracked on this in the directions that they've gone off in the season. But are they ever going to get to Washington D.C.? Because in the graphic novels, that was the whole point. Was they were in Washington already. They basically left the prison and went to Washington, and in the meantime, in the series, when they kept saying they were going to go to Washington. I think they started off going to Terminus, and then that didn't work out too good. And then they went off to Alexandria and spent a whole bunch of time there. And it's like, are you friggin' going to Washington, D.C. or not?
Exactly.
I kind of thought that was the whole. I thought that was the driving point behind this season, or maybe even last season, was that they were eventually going to get there, and that it's just not happening.
No, and the reason for trying to get to Washington, as far as I was concerned, was because they're trying to get away from the dead.
Well, correct, yes.
Whereas they're really not. They're just kind of coexisting with them in the series as it stands today.
You guys are just living with them for right now.
Yes.
You might want to sort of get back on track with that. So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow night, or you and I will see what happens on Monday.
Yep.
And try not to let people spoil it for us in the meantime.
I might be. No, I won't, because I'm working later tomorrow evening.
No.
I might be awake long. What time does it come on at night?
It comes on at 9.
I'm not getting home till 7. There's every good chance that I might stay awake.
See, the thing with me though is that I'm, as I'm getting into my old age here, I'm getting impatient, and I can't stand the commercials.
Oh,
and that show has so many commercials,
yes,
and it has more and more of them in the second half hour. And I notice this even just fast forwarding through the thing. I'll start fast forwarding. I'm like, Jesus, am I not at the end of this commercial break yet?
Yep,
Nope, I'm not. I just fast forwarded through 7 minutes that I would have had to sit there and watch if I was watching it live.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's true.
I'd rather just fast forward through all that junk.
Yep.
So that's how I'm going to do it. I'll just watch it on Monday.
Yep, I will do the same.
And we'll see how it goes. There's no big award shows or anything coming up this week, right? Anybody going to be doing any tributes that they're going to muck up?
No, when's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because that's the next biggie.
That is, I actually don't know.
It's got to be coming up soon, because after the Grammys...
It is. It's within the next couple of weeks. I just can't remember exactly what the date is.
They've been talking more and more about it.
Yeah.
Because I was reading about it today with the whole Richie Blackmore thing going off. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Richie Blackmore. Poor Richie. I mean, Richie Blackmore is just not, like you said, he's not going to be playing at the Hall of Fame because he actually wants to. And the folks who are running Deep Purple right now are basically like, absolutely not, because Gillum doesn't want him there.
Yeah, and Gillan is funny, because Gillan said, I got nothing against him. We talked recently. It's all good, but I will never play with him again on stage.
Well, so then it's not all good, is it?
No, it's not all good at all.
Like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's like trying. I mean.
Now, here's the thing,
don't try to be apologetic for it if you're not. Like, be like John Fogerty about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're being a whiny little pissant about it, just be like, I'm a whiny little pissant about this, and then it's fine. Like, John Fogerty's basically like, I'm never playing with those guys again because they suck, and he just doesn't apologize for it or doesn't make up baloney excuses.
No, I think that gets me though is that you got an iconic band like Deep Purple finally getting elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
yeah.
And yet the actual guy that created the riff that everybody knows them by is not even going to be there. Exactly.
Yep, that was all Blackmore.
Oh, here we go. Jeb Bush suspends his presidential campaign.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I just saw it as breaking news coming through now.
Why did I see that? I saw that the other day or the day before.
Yeah, it just came.
Maybe they were speculating that it was going to happen. I mean, there was no way that wasn't going to happen.
Yep, 7 news breaking news.
Well, so you got one moron out of the race.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get the other one.
The other one.
No, what's happening? This country, we're a laughing stock.
I didn't think Jeb Bush was in it wholeheartedly from the beginning.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't want any of it to start with.
No, it didn't even make any. I mean, it didn't even make any sense that he was in there in the first place.
No.
Just go home.
Yeah.
There's just no reason. Just go home.
Go play in Florida.
Do that.
Yeah.
508-531-1303. Another big classic rock block coming up. Live Zeppelin next on BIM.
Hitting the bars or hitting the books. We'll make your night rock with Rob Hicks and Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
Those are the guys that are going to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shortly. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack with a lost cut from Deep Purple. That one came out. That was called Stormbringer. That was actually off the album called Stormbringer. It was their 9th studio album. Came out in 74, and it was they had the proper lead guitarist at that point.
Yes, they did.
Richie Blackmore there, leading them on, and great stuff. Great deep track from Steve. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
7 minutes after 9, remarkably, Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer, Jared Barbetta, again, unfortunately not able to be with us this week. He's not going to call us or text us or basically acknowledge our existence tonight because he's with he's with his other friends.
He's creating walls or something with stones and mortar, something like that.
Well, no, he's not. That would be useful if that's what they do.
What's he doing then? Why do they call him the Masons?
I don't
if they
know.
Don't build things.
Thank you. My wife and I asked this question at least once a month.
Yeah.
Guess who we don't get valuable answers from? Well, that would be Jared.
Absolutely. And yet there's no secrets.
No, absolutely not.
Why the F and L are you called the Masons? There's a secret for you.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Did he ever show you his little book?
Yes, oh yes. I remember that in the Target days.
And then did you ever ask him about the book?
I did.
And then he became all defensive about it.
Oh, very defensive.
And then told you that he couldn't tell you anything about it.
Exactly.
Well, why the frig do they think people think there's some sort of grand conspiracy going on?
When there's grand conspiracies going on.
Because of this crap.
I know.
If there's no conspiracy, then tell me what the hell is going on.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. 508-531-1303. If you're out there and you're a Mason and you want to tell us what's going on, we'll be willing to interview you, or if you just want to request a song, well, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Steve, you and I are married. Not to each other.
Not to each other, we hasten to add, as usual.
So the time, it's that time of year again where I just feel like, I get to this point where I feel rich, okay? Because we filed our taxes. We've actually already gotten our taxes back this year.
We know what we're getting. We just haven't physically got them yet.
No catastrophe like last year where my wife had our identity stolen and it took us until friggin' November to get our tax return. So we got the tax return. My bonus from work is coming in next week.
Nice.
Her bonus is coming within the next few weeks or so. So all of this is coming all together. Every time that happens, I start to think of these outlandish things that I want to spend money on. And then my immediate next thought is, well, gee, how can I actually obtain permission to purchase these items? We talked last year, and I remember having this conversation on the air last year about the fact that I'm dying to get one of those. I want to get one of those 4K TVs because I want a bigger TV, number one, for our living room, because I think it can handle it. And number two, well, the 4K TVs just look friggin' awesome. And it's even better this year to do it than it was last year because they have 4K Blu-ray players on the market now. Yeah. And there's a whole wave of 4K Blu-rays that are going to be coming out. They're going to be hitting the shelves on March 1st, as a matter of fact. So they actually have more support for the technology than there was before. Mainly it was like Netflix does 4K content, if you pay for it, of course, but if you make that part of your subscription, they'll give you some 4K stuff. And there are different areas where you could get it before, and now it looks like it's going to be a little bit more available. So I thought to myself, well, gee, this would be fantastic, and it's probably even more affordable this year than it was last year. You go to BJ's and you can get one usually for under $2,000. They're 65-inch 4K TVs probably going for like, I don't know, 1,800 or something on.
It's not bad.
And when I think about that in terms of the taxes and the bonuses and everything, I'm like, well, that's not that bad a cut of all of that. And then I try to think about what she would say.
Exactly.
So here's my question: have you ever tried to persuade your wife that she wanted something that she really didn't want?
Oh, all the time.
I mean, without going into detail on some of the things that you try to persuade her she wants that she doesn't want, because I don't want to know about that.
No, my thing is that whenever I want something like that for the house, it's for me.
Right.
When she wants a new coffee table, couch, whatever it may be, it's for the house, honey.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Now, here's where I need to be very delicate, okay? And here's where I need to play my cards just right.
Yes.
This is what I'm working on, okay? So she's on this kick now where she wants to get. We've already got a treadmill on one side of the living room. Okay, I
went through the whole treadmill thing. I think I got more exercise out of moving it from one room to the next than we ever did on the bloody thing.
Well, she actually uses it, which is good. But now she's saying that she wants an elliptical machine for the other side.
Oh,
okay. So she wants it. Now the only problem is on the other side of the living room we've got a couch there. Well, she just wants to get rid of the couch because she's like, there's only two of us. We have no friends. Nobody ever comes over to our house. We don't entertain on a regular basis. We could probably get another recliner for that side of the living room, have an elliptical on one side and a treadmill on the other side, and this recliner.
That would be it?
That'd be it. We got one recliner that's in front of the TV already.
Okay.
So there'd be a second recliner. So we'd have two recliners in the room and two pieces of exercise equipment.
Yeah.
So now, of course, my immediate, I start thinking about, gee, wouldn't it be great to get this TV? And then my next thought process is, how do I dovetail this TV idea into making her think it would really be great to go along with these other things that she wants? Which we're going to end up getting because she wants them.
Oh, of course you are.
So it's going to end up happening. So now the question is, how do I manage to, it's like...
It's the age-old question,
What do they call that in like Congress? Pork belly or something like that? How do I pork belly this television into this bill about the elliptical and get rid of the couch? How do I work this in? That's what I'm trying to...
Are the recliners going to be any closer to the TV than the couch was?
No, not really. It's going to be in the same... It depends on where the elliptical goes, because the elliptical is just going to... I mean, I don't know how long or wide the elliptical is going to be or anything like that, but the recliner is just going to be on one side or the other of it, so it's not really going to make a difference.
Is she going to want to try and watch TV while she's using these exercise equipment?
She does that all the time.
So she'll be able to see a 4K TV a lot easier when she's moving around like that.
But the problem is that and I agree with that, but she would call baloney on that because she doesn't care about that stuff. She's always like, well, it's just a TV. I can watch this channel and she's the one who'd be like, I'll just watch this standard definition channel on the high def TV. And I'm like, oh God, no.
Oh God, I hate when you do that.
Doing? You crazy?
No, see, I exist.
So she doesn't care as much about that stuff. So I feel like playing up the technology and how good it's going to look is not the correct approach, because it's not going to get me. If anything, it's going to get me further away from the
only
goal
other angle you've got is that, okay, if you're buying that for you to use, why don't I get a toy too?
Exactly. But then that makes me sound so. I'm trying to find the perfect blend between here's something that I want, and to your point, I sort of should get a little something out of this if you're getting this out of this. Exactly. But to not make that the overt point, to kind of make the overt point, hey, look, wouldn't it be great if we completely revamped the living room with this elliptical machine, the new recliner, the new TV, and you got the treadmill on the other side. You know what I mean? And just really try to almost try to downplay the thing might be the best way. I don't know.
Do you know what I exist on? I exist on hand-me-downs.
Oh, that's true.
My daughter, they've got a 55 hanging from the wall right now, and they want a 75 so they can put the 55 in the bedroom, and then we get the 32 out of the bedroom to replace our 19 in the bedroom.
Right, we do
That's the way we do it.
We do the exact same thing with my parents. My parents have the TV that we used to have in our bedroom.
No, so
in their living room.
Okay, so you flip. Yep.
So there again, I'm thinking to myself, gee, maybe we should make it so that my parents' 40th anniversary is this year. My parents' 40th anniversary is this year.
You need to give them a better TV.
They could use a better TV for the living room.
Absolutely.
We've got a 52-inch TV that would need to be displaced from the living room. If this were, I might be able to do this.
That's genius.
I might be able to work this in.
That's a good one.
This is basically the key. Anybody, if you're college students out there and listen to this station and you're not aware, this is basically what happens when you get older and you get married. Most of your time spent as a husband is spent trying to figure out how to work things in.
Yeah. Now,
not literally, but...
We got a decent tax return this year because I was out of work for half of last year. Which was great. But, of course, what happens then the week that we get the knowledge of the tax return coming in, my daughter gets engaged.
True.
So now we have to save to spend money on a wedding.
You might want to talk to her about that.
Ugh. We were looking at places today. I can't believe how expensive they are. It's ridiculous. But
Did you ever hear of eloping? Eloping's cool.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's instant gratification of the wedding. You're still going to be married. It's still going to be fantastic.
And maybe I give you a couple of $1,000 to help you along your way.
It's a hell of a lot cheap. You want a TV? Do they want a TV? 508-531-1303. Give us a call. Doing classic rock until 11 o'clock. Got the Who up next. SNS on BIM.
The Saturday Night Soundtrack.
Saturday night. Actually, pretty nice little Saturday.
WBIM.
The Rolling Stones. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show. There's a double shot of the Rolling Stones there, as a matter of fact. Ozzy Osbourne before that. Had the Who in there as well. Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer, and Mikey D has made his return.
Hello again, my friends.
Hello. How are you?
Again.
And the light's not working again.
The light's not working, and you're too far away.
We'll fix that right now.
He doesn't mean he'll fix the light right now, because that's a foregone. That's not happening.
Okay, now it's on again.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we need some sort of maintenance guy around here
going
to
on.
fix this stuff.
That'd be fantastic. A maintenance guy, an engineer, or something.
Yep.
Who could keep the place from falling apart. That would be fabulous. But apparently, we can't get our hands on any of those. So we're just going to have to make do with the situations the way they are. 508-531-1303. Give us a call if there's anything you want to hear in the next hour and a half or so. We're here doing Classic Rock until 11 o'clock, so you can get anything on that you want. Once again, you can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack, and you can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. Filter for channels. Mikey D, have you checked out the YouTube recently? Not recently.
I know you were going to ask me that. No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm going to... I figured the past, let all those weeks build up so I can just... during my convenience and at my time, I can listen to hilarity but then again, I don't have to listen to it. We got the real thing right here, right now.
I like how he leads off with, I knew you were going to ask me that, and no. As a matter of fact, no. Absolutely not, no.
Yeah.
I
But
haven't.
due time, very soon.
You're
Let it
going
all
to
build up
have
so
a
I can just
semester
sit down
worth
for a
of...
moment and just let her rip.
Is that how you like to do it? You like to build it up for a long time and then just let her rip?
At times, yeah. For the radio enjoyment. I thought you meant, well, forget about it.
I don't want to know anything else. Hey, did you guys hear the audio from, it's been all over the place, everywhere, of Paul McCartney getting turned away at the door?
Oh, yes.
Of that rapper. What is it? What's his name? Tyga? I don't even know if that's how he pronounced it.
What happened.
I don't care enough. So, okay, so Paul McCartney, I got a clip here to play, and the clip is almost funny in and of itself because of how irrelevant the interviewer is. So there's an interviewer from TMZ, and I don't know if Steve, you're familiar with TMZ. Mikey D,
I've seen that
maybe
show
not
in
so
the
much.
past.
Okay, so TMZ is. I will admit, I'll sit there and watch the show if there's nothing else on TV.
There has to be nothing on.
I will find it entertaining to a point, but their interviewers that they send out on the street to talk to people are so goddamn grating and irritating. And this guy is no exception. So the funny thing is, he's trying to ask Paul McCartney these completely irrelevant questions while Paul McCartney is trying to get into this after Grammys party. Now, what happened was he was at the party there's a rapper named Tyga, and he was at that party, but he was actually trying to get to Mark Ronson's party. That was, I guess, like 3 miles or blocks away or something like that. So he was actually at the wrong building. So it wasn't, at first they built it up, like made a big deal, like, hey, he's not, Tyga turned away Paul McCartney, who wasn't good enough to be at his party. And it wasn't really like that. He was actually at the wrong party, but at the same time, the fact that the bouncers didn't actually realize that they were talking to Sir Paul McCartney is a little ridiculous in and of itself, but I guess that's just the world we live in.
Yes.
So here's a clip, and you got the stupid TMZ interviewer trying to ask him a question while he's just trying to figure out if he can get into the friggin' party or not.
What's your favorite Rolling Stone song? What's your favorite Rolling Stone song? Let me call Peter. No way. Do you have a favorite?
I didn't know you were here.
Now, right there in the background, you can hear him actually say, is this Mark Ronson's party? So he's already trying to figure out if he's at the right place or not, because the bouncer, they're at some side door of the club, and the bouncers aren't letting him in, and he's trying to figure out why. But it just happens to be that he's at the wrong party.
Do you have a favorite?
This idiot's still trying to ask him about his favorite Rolling Stone song. Just kill yourself.
Okay, I need
And he says Mark Ronson again. Like, he's trying to, and it's almost like, am I speaking another language? Like, I'm trying to get to Mark Ronson's party. If this is not it, can you please tell me where it is?
I don't think this guy can. How VIP do we gotta get?
How VIP do we gotta get? There's Paul McCartney realizing that he's not going to get it. Now, at the same time, it bears noting, too, that while Paul McCartney is trying to get into this party, he is with Beck.
Yes.
And Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters, drummer. And they're the ones that are actually trying to get in. So it's the three. It's not even just Paul McCartney by himself. It's the three of them, and the three of them still can't get in.
They won't let you in? What?
Yeah, we need another hit, guys. We need another hit. Work on it.
Paul McCartney points at Beck and tells them to work on it because they need another hit.
Next year.
Serious, thank you.
Working on it.
Dude. You guys gotta go to the front. Seriously. Come on.
So now there's chaos as Paul McCartney and Beck and Taylor Hawkins just try to, they basically turn around and go to get back in the car because they realize they're not at the right party. The idiot from TMZ keeps following them.
Hey, hold on. Give me 1 second. Hey. Come here.
He's still trying to ask them, like, hey, they're not letting you in? Like, no, they didn't let us in. And he just continues to follow them to the car until finally a bouncer has to tell the TMZ guy to get the F away from the car.
Can you believe this? This is getting crazy. What? Dude, that's got to be a first ever, man. So, Paul, there's no way they rejected you from the
Back up,
now.
guys. Just back up, please. Thank you.
Where are you going to go now? What? That's crazy.
Well, baby.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Why don't you back up away from the car, my friend?
Step away from the car, my friend. They're just trying to get. And so the thing is, he doesn't even realize, like, this was a story that ended up all over, all over news outlets and social media. Everybody's been talking about it pretty much all week. And the stupid TMZ reporter who was asking Paul McCartney an irrelevant, idiotic question about his favorite Rolling Stone song doesn't even, you can tell the light bulb starts to slowly go on. Like, he starts to realize that he's actually got, like, a kind of a pretty good story here, but he doesn't know how to sort of manifest it. All he does is keep standing there going, they won't let you in? Like, what? No.
Rob, mention that, though. Here he's Paul McCartney. They know who he is. Sure, Mr. McCartney, you don't need no invite. Get your butt in here.
Well, no, that's a problem, is that the bouncers apparently didn't know who he was. Nobody knew who he was.
Oh, they're probably young punks younger than us.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that they're just idiots. So
Definitely.
I don't really care if it's not your style of music. There are certain things that you should just know that should be
these people are.
Right, it should be a common sense thing at this point. And if it's not, then, I just don't know what to do for you. That's pretty much it. If Paul McCartney showed up here, I think we'd let him sit down for a little bit.
Yes,
I think we'd be okay with it. Maybe we'd make sure it was him, and then go forth with that.
And you get some stupid college reporter over his shoulder asking stupid questions.
What's your favorite Deep Purple song?
Yeah.
Just go away.
Hey, what's your favorite radio show at BIM?
Just go away.
Yeah, go away, will you, kid?
Just, if you're going to say anything but the Saturday Night Soundtrack, please just leave. Just go. Mikey D, there's something that concerns me, and I just want to ask you about it before we jump off the air here again for another week, because we're not going to see you again for another week. I feel like you haven't really been touting any eating establishments like you did last semester.
That's crazy. We were all over the place a couple times.
You were all over different places and just touting them all over the place. And I feel like this year it's been like nothing. You're like, hey, I'm going to go home and eat a hot dog and a can of beans and go to bed. I'm just kind of, we're just kind of concerned about your welfare.
I'd do my bedding outside if that was the case.
We're worried that you are doing your bedding outside. Are you eating okay? Or how is everything going?
Look at me.
Well, no, I understand
that. This is what look at me. I eat healthy. You can tell by looking at me.
I mean,
this is what I look like with my shirt on.
Wait,
Steve,
that's enough.
Let me hold my shirt while I show Rob.
That's enough.
You sure?
I don't want to see that.
Steve, do you want to come in this room?
You take my word for it?
Yeah.
Would you
take your word for it?
Would you be more comfortable in this room? I think would be the case.
No, we haven't talked much about Johnny Macaroni's.
Right, that's my concern.
I had friends who ate there this week.
Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm.
What'd they think?
They loved it.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
I haven't heard anybody say anything about, like, word one, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about that place. Everybody is just, everything I've ever heard has always been complimentary.
Food is phenomenal.
And big portions, right? Like huge
Very
portions?
big.
Yeah.
And the lunch portions aren't too shabby either. So all the way around, you get your money's worth.
Well, there you go.
That's always good.
All right.
So then we should tout them more because apparently they're fantastic. I don't know if anybody down there still listens to us or not. I know they did.
I throw the word out there now, and I
potentially.
have really ran into some of the wait staff, cooks, managers, and stuff like that. But due time, I'll have to drop by, tell those mugs to listen up, or else.
I mean, I think it's maybe the or else that's probably, that might not be the best approach.
You don't think I scared them enough?
I mean, I think you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And I think maybe that's something you just need to take to heart and just maybe kind of work on that a little bit.
Little golden earring I hear in the background.
Yes.
By the way, what date did this group start, do you think?
What do you mean?
Just take a guess. When were they formed?
I'll say mid-'60s.
Yeah, 61.
61?
They've been going since 1961. They've had 25 albums.
That's like oldies right there.
Oh, that's like that King Harrod's band there called Mungie or something like that.
Budgie.
Or whatever it was. Well, they're so popular, we've never heard of them.
Right.
8 months ago.
Who knows? 508-531-1303. Classic rock until 11 o'clock on SNS on BIM. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. Here's Golden Earring for you. Radar Love. Green Day 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer. When I was in high school, Green Day was the new band that was out, and everybody was into them, and everybody thought they were fantastic and all this and that, and they were the new band when I was in high school, and now they're considered classic rock, and it makes me old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't they put a musical together as well?
I believe they did.
They did.
They did. I don't. Was it American Idiot or something like that?
Yes, I believe so.
I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of Green Day stuff that I could, again, the whole take it or leave it scenario. There's a whole bunch of Green Day stuff that I could leave. But there's a bunch of it that I also like, too.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the newer stuff as well. Speaking of American Idiot, what's the name of that song? Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Great song. I love that song.
Yep.
That last one that we just played came off the Dookie album, of course. And then from the Nimrod album, you've got Dookie. You've got Good Riddance, which is a great song. We played that before here on the program. And, they're just one of those bands. Like I said, they would put out albums and songs where I'd hear entire albums and be like meh, and then there are other things that I hear and I'd be like, that's a song that I probably will love for years. So that's just the way it goes. 508-531-1303. If there's anything you want us to get on within this last hour, it's the last hour. We can do it for you. And Steve, what do you think of my meat stick?
It's a big one, sir.
Yeah, isn't it, though?
Yes, it is.
This thing is incredible. So I'm holding my meat stick in my hand right now, and I'm taking a look at the back of it, and it's called the Sasquatch XXL.
Oh, really?
Do you know who loves this? Is my wife.
Really?
Oh, she can't get enough of this.
Really?
I mean, I swear to God, she's the one who actually turned me onto meat stick.
She can't get enough of your meat stick.
She can't, and I used to not really like these things all that much. Like I came from the era of Slim Jims, which I never really thought Slim Jims were all that great.
No.
But there's something about these Sasquatch deals. You can get these at they're from Jack Link's, and you can get them from like Cumberland Farms and whatnot. And there's just something about I don't know if it's the seasoning that they use in them or what. But oh man.
I can tell you're enjoying that.
Like, I'm eating some meat stick right now. I can't get enough of it. It's fantastic.
Beautiful thing.
It's a little chewy, but it's fine. Not a problem. It's all the preservatives, so it's fine.
Yeah. It'll last forever.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about all the... have you heard about all the goofy, stupid conspiracy theories that are going around about Justice Scalia?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, if anybody doesn't know, and you've been living under a rock, Justice Anton Scalia passed away. It was a week ago today, as a matter of fact, right? Because we get the breaking news on the way here to the program.
Yep.
And he was on some hunting trip or something like that, and he died, and he was 79 years old. He was 79 years old. That's number one. That's an important part of the story. Because past that point, there's a whole bunch of people saying, well, it was a little suspicious because the scene was handled a little bit oddly, and I guess they found like a pillow over his face or something like that. And people were like, well, that's unusual, isn't it? A pillow over his face? I can tell you right now, as someone who has more than a few cats, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
Anytime you just want peace and quiet and you just want your face left alone, putting a pillow over your face is not really the most unnatural thing in the world. Granted, he didn't have cats with him on this trip.
He might have been thinking about cats, though.
He could have been. And at the same time, if he just didn't, the whole thing was he said that, obviously he died, they're saying of natural causes. Nobody really knows exactly what it was. He went to, he said that he wasn't feeling well and went to bed. Maybe he just was trying to just go to sleep, just needed a little bit of extra darkness and just put the pillow over his face. Not a big deal. Who had to chime in on this, of course, was Donald Trump.
Of course he did.
Jesus. So somebody was interviewing him about it, and he said something like, he was like, well, I'm not going to go off and say that, I'm not going to say that anything happened, but it was unusual. It was unusual that he had a pillow over his face. It's very unusual. Shut up. You're very unusual.
Very unusual. Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a
moron.
Did you see the cover of the, and on top of that, Donald Trump's been having a great week. Apparently, unfortunately, he just won South Carolina, or at least that's what they're projecting for this evening. You're a bunch of morons down there too, apparently.
Yep.
I'm making a list as this election goes on, and he inexplicably continues to truck on through the entire process. I'm making a list of states that I'm never going to.
Yes.
Because it's obviously states who are run by imbeciles. South Carolina is now at the top of that list. New Hampshire obviously made the list a few weeks ago.
Yep.
When those jabronis up there, they decided that it might be it might be a good idea to have him as a Republican nominee. What are you nuts? What is wrong with you?
People?
What is wrong with this country?
Aren't they the
why is he?
Oh no, that's why. Live free and die, of course.
Why is he still in this race?
I don't know.
Oh, a bunch of idiots. So anyway,
I pretend he's not. It just makes for a more pleasant day for me.
Yeah, the denial.
Yeah,
denial is a great. That's a great plan. I just don't understand how it's still going on. I don't understand how it's possible that this could still be happening. And then on top of all this, he's continuing to make as many enemies as he is making voters. The Pope is apparently the
How do you piss off the Pope? I mean, really, come on.
The Pope is the most recent guy to go out against Donald Trump, and I guess he didn't volunteer the information. Somebody who was interviewing the Pope came out and asked him, what do you think about Donald Trump? And his immediate response was if somebody wants to build walls instead of bridges, I believe is what he said, to keep people out of the country and whatnot, well, that's not a true Christian.
No.
And then Donald Trump, instead of just keeping his big, fat, stupid mouth shut, this knuckle-dragging, drooling imbecile has to come out and say, well, I think the Pope is disgraceful. Well, are you nuts? What an idiot. How can you be how can you be such a moron?
Because he is.
But I don't even understand how it's possible.
I think he's worked out that the more of a moron he is, I think people follow him better, so he's just pushing the boundaries of morondom.
I feel like we're in some sort of huge joke.
It's a vortex.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like the biggest episode of Ashton Kutcher's Punk'd that anybody has ever seen. And it's on the whole country. And eventually someone's going to stand up and be like, you idiots didn't actually think that we were going to nominate somebody like this loser, did you? What is wrong with you people? This is some sort of a grand... We'll have to ask Jared about this, because I'm sure the Masons probably have something to do with it. They're probably behind it, the Illuminati, the old man knee-kissing weirdos. They're all behind it in some way, and they're pulling the strings, and they're coming up with some sort of plan, and they're like, hey, look, let's test this. This is like a fire drill. Let's test what'll happen if the American people actually want to vote in some sort of idiotic Neanderthal to the presidency who doesn't know how to keep his big fat mouth shut. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're doing. They're just planning this whole thing, and then they're going to be like, hey, guess what? You're saved because we decided not to go through with this. But the next time you guys start seeing big red flags and warning signs,
pay attention.
You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just pump the brakes a little bit on, unanimously voting this idiot in? Oh my God.
When's this going to happen, though? It's going to explode soon.
It's got to happen before the primary. Somebody before the primary has got to stand up and say, this was all just it was a grand social experiment. You all failed, by the way, because apparently you're all knuckle-dragging idiots, and I don't understand what's the matter with you people, but you're on the left side of wrong, and you need to figure it out, because this just doesn't work. And I don't know what's wrong with you people, but why don't you run it like some of the other countries do? Those other countries like England or most other countries in the world who realize that having this man run for the presidency of one of the biggest nations in the world is one of the stupidest laughingstock things you could ever see in your life. I don't understand. I will never understand it. I don't understand it. I see people that I'm friends with who are actually sympathetic to Trump
I work with a couple
on Facebook, and I just want to punch them in the face. I just want to punch them in the face. It's sort of like at my work, how every once in a while, because we have I work for a financial company, and in the real world, and they send out these emails every once in a while because they want people to be vigilant about the the phishing scams that go on where companies from the outside will send you an email and they'll try to get you to send back some personal information, or at least just to click on a link that exposes your system to viruses and all these other kind of things. And, it's just like a phishing exercise. And every once in a while, the IT department themselves at my work will send out sort of a fishy looking email, and you're supposed to report it without opening anything in it. And if you report it, then that means like, oh, good, you realized that something weird was going on. You reported it to us. So obviously you're on top of making sure that these things don't happen. I feel like this is just a phishing exercise for the whole goddamn country. Like, hey, guess what? You probably are going to elect this bozo into office. Somebody has to stand up and be like, you know what, this clown wasn't really part of the whole, he's not going to be president ever. And you people who all voted for him, you all failed this phishing test.
But I think they failed, and their names should be linked to the voting registry in the future, and they should never be allowed to vote again.
That's absolutely how this works.
It's perfect. I like it.
Oh, my God. I can't even... It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
I mean, this is more ridiculous. I mean,
if
everybody
you just told me a year or more this was going to happen,
Right.
I'd have laughed at you.
Oh my
Right in your
God!
face.
Or like like you and I were talking about off the air. If this had been like 4 years ago or 8 years, whatever the hell. When did he run the last time? Was it 4 years ago?
Yeah.
If this had been like 4 years ago where he ran and got through like one preliminary round and lost that, by the way, and then just kind of faded off into the distance, I would have said, well, fine.
Yep.
But the fact that he's still hanging around right now, it's like a joke that's gone too far. It's like, okay, this isn't funny anymore. It's just scary. Please somebody come out and make it stop because there's no reason for this to still be happening.
Exactly.
He's just... God. Well, Ted Nugent thinks he's great.
Well, we know what we think of Ted Nugent, so that's fine.
There's a ringing endorsement for you right there.
Absolutely.
If you've ever heard of one. 508-531-1303. Going to get into the last classic rock block of the evening. Give us a call if there's anything you want to hear. We'll kick it off with a double shot of the boss.
Saturday nights and classic rock. They just go together like bacon and hot fudge sundaes.
Whatever.
Just trust us on this, okay? Bacon and hot fudge sundaes. Yum. The Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
That's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS Radio Show, Saturday Night Soundtrack, about ready to close out for another week. Rob Hicks, Steve Rimmer.
Hello.
And it's been a pleasure being with you this evening, even though we were down a person. Jared Barbetta will be back next week.
Oh, he wasn't here this week?
No, you know what? I thought there was something, but then I just didn't know. I thought maybe it was just, I thought maybe Mikey D wasn't up here as long as he normally is or something.
I don't know.
Hey, when Jared gets back next week, maybe we could ask him some stuff about what went on this week and how the Mason night went and what he normally does on Mason nights. But, I feel like that would be a waste of our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won't tell you.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Hey, I wanted to ask you this question. Did you see this thing? Did you see this news thing about how an MIT senior has figured out a program, and I guess he built it into an app now that uses an algorithm to make a snow day calculator?
No, I didn't see that.
So apparently, basically, what happened was he said that it was his name is David Sukin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. David Sukin. He was a New Jersey middle schooler, and he basically said the whole idea was that he had the personal need. He wanted to know exactly what would be the right combination of elements to come together that would cause snowfall to prompt a school cancellation to let him put off his homework. And he said, my friends and I would all agonize about whether school would be closed. I wanted to use all the data and algorithms I possibly could to get the answer. Apparently that was 9 years ago, and he ended up applying to MIT. He's a senior there now, and he's studying computer science and business, and he programmed his algorithm to use data points like National Weather Service and things like that, timing of the storm, all that sort of thing. He also works in, somehow he used the formula to work in like social media and TV buzz, and to figure out and to try to pinpoint when schools are actually going to get closed because of certain storms. So I read this story, and I think to myself, well, that's great, and that's fascinating, and that's interesting. And then the cynical part of me thinks, well, if you had spent that much time on your actual homework, instead of just wondering about when you could put it off, maybe you wouldn't need the algorithm
exactly
or the app. But apparently that's not. I'm missing the point of the story if I go down that road. Apparently the whole idea is that, well, the kid's a genius, and he created this thing, and everybody can use it. And I guess he said that it was, it says if limited, so it has different levels, right? So I guess if quote unquote limited comes up, reflecting a 0 to 55% likelihood of a snow day, it means students better be ready for school the next morning. But a woo-hoo signal is 87% to 99% odds that there'll be no school or an early dismissal. And there's one sophomore from Brookline High named Bren Kramer, age 16, who said, I feel like I'm gambling. I always hope the number is going to be really high. And Sukin, who created the thing, said that since 2012, when he started at MIT, he's been wrong about cancellations in the greater Boston area only once or twice.
That's pretty damn good.
So apparently the thing is pretty reliable.
Very good.
I don't really know. Yeah, the thing of it is, I'm going through this whole thing, and I'm trying to find, I guess maybe you can search for, because I don't even see what the thing is actually called. Like, they don't tell you anywhere in here. I'm just looking at, this is like Channel 5 News. I don't see anything in here where they actually say what the I guess he factored it into some sort of app, but they don't actually say what the app is.
No.
So maybe if you look
That's
up,
not very useful.
Well, maybe if you go out there and you look up school cancellation app or something to that effect,
Yeah, that's true.
maybe you'll end up finding it.
You can always find something.
Exactly. Something's always out there. Speaking of cancellations and school closings, just a brief programming note. I believe, as far as our program here at WBIM, I believe that we're not going to be on for 2 weeks at the beginning of March. That is what I could use an algorithm for this, but I think I'm pretty confident about these dates. March the 5th and March the 12th, and the only reason for that is that, well, it's spring break around here.
Yep.
Spring break starts, March 5th is the Saturday before the week of spring break. So
they'll be gone on Friday.
Right, on the 4th, everybody's getting the hell out of here, so that nobody's going to be around here on the 5th to keep the building open for us. And then the 12th is obviously the Saturday on the other end of the spring break, and everybody's going to be, they're not going to want, they're going to be tired and not going to come in. The building's not going to be back open in full swing until the 13th. And at least this is going by how it worked last year.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to be taking a spring break too. So plan for, all you people out there who follow us so religiously, make sure you make note of the fact that we're not going to be here after next week. So we're going to be back next week with Jared, and then we're going to be missing I think Jared's going to miss like a month worth of this show.
He is,
because he's going to be back next week. The 5th and the 12th, we're going to be out. And then, I imagine that if it follows, the same
pattern,
the same cycle in the month, then he's going to be, his monthly cycle is going to come up on the Saturday that we come back here after spring break. You might not be able to hear Jared for a month after next week.
Lucky people.
So, for all you people out there who really want to get your fix of the Saturday Night Soundtrack and your fix of Jared, just remember that it's going to be, it'll be a month before you get to hear him after next week, potentially. So make sure you tune in.
Yes.
Is the point. But it's been a great night to be here. It's been fast, as it always is.
Very fast.
Peter Q. George has come in. He's tinkering around with the, apparently they're trying to get there's an old transmitter. That anybody who doesn't know nerdy radio stuff, well, I don't really know that much about the nerdy radio stuff either, but there's an old transmitter that Peter's been working on that he's been trying to get going. The idea is to get it ready for homecoming in October. And it's nothing more than just the idea of being able to say, hey, here's the old transmitter. The WBIM started in November of 1972. And the whole idea is to say, here's the transmitter that we originally started with. I believe it's the one they originally started with, and look, it still works. I don't know I think his goal is to get it up to about 150 watts. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to go the full, well, you can't go the full 180. Let's calm down just a little bit. I think the goal is not to get it up to the full 180, but I think if he gets it up to like 154, 150 or something like that, well, he's going to be happy.
Nice.
So, again, anybody out there who knows anything about transmitters or is all nerdy about this stuff probably knows more about it than I am, and probably finds this more cool than I'm just relaying the information. But that's pretty much the idea. Right now we're working, I don't know how old the transmitter is that we've got now. But I know it's the one that puts out the full 184 watt signal all the time. Pete's he's been burning the midnight oil, so he'll come in. We've seen him actually a couple of Saturdays in a row where he'll come in here and he'll go in there and start tinkering around with the thing. When we leave here at 11 o'clock, usually a little bit later on, like around 11:30 or so, he'll switch the old transmitter over to the actual live broadcast, test it out for a little bit, see what kind of wattage he can get out of it. He got like 9 or 10 watts last week, and then come back and do some more stuff. And he does it when nobody's actually doing a show here, of course, because that's the only time he can mess around with it. And then he does that and figures it out, and well, hopefully by October it'll be all squared away.
Nice.
I don't know what it all means, but he tells me it's cool. So I got to go by that.
You got to believe that.
I got to make that assumption. Steve, you and I are going to be walking out into 40-degree weather.
Yep.
As opposed to wind chills of negative
40 degree below.
What was it last week when we left here? Wasn't it like negative 32 degrees or something absolutely ridiculous?
Exactly.
I've never been so. First of all, I'm also spoiled, by the way, because I had to drive myself here tonight. Jared picked me up and we carpooled the last couple of weeks. Had to fend for myself this week, and I never thought I would be so happy for Jared's heated seats in his car as I was last week.
Oh, they work well?
Oh, holy God.
Yes.
It made the next morning, because, the next day it was still cold, and I had to, when I got in my truck to go out and do some stuff, I was amazed by, I wanted there to be a button that I could hit where I could, just turn on some heated seats in my truck. not possible.
No, no.
Made me envy it, but I don't envy not having car payments.
Exactly.
So I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see y'all next week. We'll be back for our last show for 2 weeks, so make sure you tune in next week. We'll send you out with the cars. SNS on BIM.